guest is helping us escape that summer heat outside and bringing everything we love about barbecue inside. Welcome back, the owner of Maud and Gwen Restaurants, our good friend, the incomparable, the wonderful, the everything chef, Curtis Stone.
Thank you. How are you?
We're so excited to have you back, Curtis.
I feel so strange standing here in a pair of gloves, but I promise you it's for a reason. We're going to barbecue some brisket.
And we cannot wait to eat this barbecued brisket. So while you move that big piece of brisket over here, Cameron, Marissa, Shirley, you guys dig in.
Dig on in.
So the thing about making a delicious brisket is you have to have the perfect piece of meat. So what do you ask the butcher when you go looking for a brisket?
Well, it just so happens I have a butcher shop. So what you need to do is you need to get a full brisket. Now, because there's two parts to the brisket. This is called the point end and this is called the navel end, right? Because what the brisket is, it's kind of the belly of the steer.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, just like pork belly. We love pork belly. It's fatty and rich. Brisket's the same cut, but of course, beef. So you want that beautiful fat cap on the top. You could even get a Wagyu brisket, which is really delicious. But what we need to make is a dry rub. You start with some brown sugar, some salt. Right. Now, it looks like a ton, and you're right, it's a lot. We've got all sorts of different spices here. Paprika, there's cumin seeds, fennel seeds, garlic powder, some onion powder, so you get all of those spices in, a little cayenne pepper.
Nice.
Now, if you've got a special spice grind that you like, go ahead and use it. But I mix that up, right? And then you bring your brisket over here, and then you start that dry rub process. So get it in there, and then literally rub it in, massage it into your brisket. It gets a little bit messy, but don't worry.
Give the brisket some love.
Give it some love. Flip her on over.
So both sides.
Both
sides. Someone has said to me once, and you'll probably know more about this, the first cut versus the second cut of brisket, does that make sense?
It does, yep, absolutely. So the first cut is sort of more up towards this end of the brisket. And, you know, look, at the end of the day, there's so much, barbecue is like a religion in America. It really is. People absolutely love it. They get right into it. And this is a super easy way to do it because we're not even going to fire up the barbecue. You know, you might have an incredible smoker, and that would work with this, but we're actually going to show you a way to roast it because, you know, sometimes in summer it's too hot outdoors, it gets too buggy, depending on where you are in the country, you know, so once you've done that,
you might not have a grill, to be honest with you.
You might not have one, exactly.
You can still do this at home, which is great.
So that's why I put the gloves on, so then you come off and you've got nice clean hands
Beautiful.
at the end. You pop that, you cover it in cling film, you pop it in the fridge, and you leave it for overnight, so 12 to 24 hours.
Okay, so you want this definitely to
so just all of that flavour is going to penetrate.
Beautiful. Okay, so then we put it in the oven.
We sure do.
At what temperature and for how long?
It goes in, once it's sort of had that time to marinate, it goes in the oven for 8 hours, 225 Fahrenheit. So really slow oven.
Yeah, really low.
Did you say 8 hours?
8 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we're sort of simulating what would happen if we were smoking it. So again, that real low and slow cooking.
So low and slow. And when we take it out, it looks a little something like this.
Yeah, I got
And
you.
it's very heavy, Curtis.
Good workout, Deb. Look at those arms.
And you have to let it sit for another hour, correct?
So it's going to get really dark. So you're going to look at it and think, oh, it's burning, I'm doing something wrong. You're not. You know, look, every oven's a little bit different. So it might get to, if it does start to get super dark, you can tent it with a little foil, but don't turn down the oven. That's the important part.
Okay, so while this sits, we're going to make our beautiful Texas-style barbecue sauce.
So we let that rest, right? Next we make our sauce. So I've got some onions just sweating over here in a little butter. You don't need colour, you just want that little bit of colour. And then again, those same sort of flavours that you love from barbecue, we're going to add in. So you throw in your spices first. I've got a little mustard powder. We've got some paprika.
You can drink this barbecue sauce.
Isn't
It is
it so
so
good?
good.
Yay.
Great.
And you can make the barbecue sauce ahead of time as well.
You sure can. Salt. Some pepper and lemon juice, and then you put a little brown sugar, and that brown sugar brings you that sweetness. If you want to cut down on the sugar, you could use peach juice or fresh peach or apple.
That's
would be nice as well.
It is
a little chicken stock and a little apple cider vinegar. That all goes in there. And then the
secret ingredient.
Secret ingredient. Don't be scared to use ketchup. It's all right. It's got that umami that us chefs love. It's got a little sweetness in there. So you throw all of that in, give it a stir, and then you just let that simmer down. I make this in a big old batch because what I do is I stick it in the freezer because it lasts really, really well.
So good, and you could put it on anything, just like you said, Larissa.
Yeah, it is so good.
So once that cools down, then you actually blend it, correct?
Then you blend it. Yep, right. So it comes out looking just like this. So it's nice and smooth. If you don't want to blend it, the truth is you don't have to. You can see I've put a little bit over my brisket once it comes out. So you can go ahead and pour some over like this, right? And then you sort of leave the rest to serve along with the actual brisket.
Chef.
Then it's time to taste.
Okay.
So the great thing about this is you've cooked it. So this is quite a tough piece of meat when it starts out.
Look at that.
But, you know, like even these big, thick slices, you can see that little bit of rich fattiness, that delicious sort of top side there. But look how my knife just glides straight through it.
Right,
Super
and
tender.
seeing it on top, you'd think you'd have ruined it.
Right.
Is that because of the low and slow, the way you cook it, or is that because of the cut? It is because of the low and
It's
slow.
the low and slow cooking, yeah, because this starts off as a tough cut of meat. If it doesn't get barbecued or slow cooked like this, it probably ends up in a burger or in a grinder at the butcher shop. Yeah, but I mean, have a look at that juicy.
So tasty.
Yeah.
Now, this brisket is, as we're saying, so incredibly good. In fact, it's one of your signature dishes that you serve with your events.
That's right.
Program that you have. Tell us about Curtis Stone Events.
We started an events company because we have a butcher shop that has incredible meat, and we were asked to do a bunch of barbecues in people's homes, and we would do everything from roasting a whole animal, you know, for a little barbecue in someone's backyard to a wedding, and it just sort of started organically, and we're like, all right, let's put a name on it. It took me forever to think of it, Curtis Stone Events.
Man, how did you come up with that?
Very creative.
And then that's what we do. We do, you know, we cater all sorts of events for all sorts of people.
Yeah, but you're not just any caterer. You are the best caterer on the West Coast. True story.
You just won that award.
You just won that award by Cater Source. So that's a big deal.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
Good job. Have a bite, Deb.
You got to taste
It
it.
do you
is
think?
so
Curtis, you
good.
have to
so
taste
good.
And you got it served here
Yes.
with some beans, a little coleslaw.
You can never go wrong with beans.
If we weren't serving it with beans and coleslaw, what else would you serve this with?
You would swear that was cooked in a smoker, right?
Yes,
It
it's
really was.
very
Exactly right. The flavor. You're right.
Yum.
No
You
beans.
could serve it on a sandwich. Oh. You could serve it with mac and cheese. You could serve it with coleslaw and beans. You know, there's so many different ways to take barbecue. That's what I love about it.
And if we were making this sauce outside on a grill,
Yeah.
you could make the sauce on the grill as well?
You sure can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you stick it in a little pan.
I mean, think about that. You could prepare the brisket in advance. You can do the sauce in advance. You can have it in the freezer. And then so when it comes to be, you just got to pop it in the oven, wait 8 hours, come back. And you're a
ready to
hero.
go, baby.
That's right.
Heaven.
You're a
That's the
hero.
thing. You get up early in the morning, you stick
Yeah.
it in the oven, and then you forget about it. You come back to it sort of, you know, later in the afternoon, and dinner's ready. You haven't really done much. It's,
Right.
It looks like
Passive.
Well, I know why they call you a genius. I know now. I know now. Great
cooking
job. This is
wizard. We
absolutely
love you,
delicious.
Curtis. Thank you so
For
much.
more from Curtis, visit curtisstone.com. And as always, this recipe will be at hallmarkchannel.com, everybody. Thanks again.